just came back in. That's why I'm talking to you guys about this. That's why we're in the business that we're in. That's why lead gen is such an interesting business, because it pulls on one of the levers that is a principle to success. You have to have levers. You have to have a more efficient way of doing things. I was just talking to Mike Marin. He was telling me the computing power, I think, and I'll probably screw up the stat because he's got like a photographic memory, but the computing power, I think it's like every 2 years is doubling in the speed at which our computers can compute. What this means for us is the faster and the better we understand these things, even if we're not the person that's building them per se, if we're outsourcing, that's okay too. It's the principle that we need to be fully aware of. And that principle is if there's these things that you do not have to manage or lightly manage, right? Which would be, a computer, a lead gen property. Like I think about my lead gen property from 10 years ago, right? That same property, I don't have to manage it. I got to make sure the hosting's renewed. So I have a little of my money, honey, involved with it. I need to make sure that's done, and I need to make sure it's still generating phone calls and leads. But that was a great use of code, right? Meaning that lead gen is out there working for me with very little. Could you imagine having an employee that brought you in a consistent $2,000-$3,000 a month for the next 10 years of your life, and you checked in on them like once or twice a year, and everything just ran smooth, and that mailbox money just came back in? That's why I'm talking to you guys about this. That's why we're in the business that we're in. That's why lead gen is such an interesting business, because it pulls on one of the levers that is a principle to success. Okay? And if you're not grasping that yet, take a moment to grasp it. Okay? You look at everything, you look at the richest companies in the world, and they're pulling on these exact same levers. And so the quicker that we get this into our understanding, the quicker that we take ourselves out of the business, in a sense, where we're not doing the human capital only element of our business, when we start to leverage the use of other people's help. And that could be simply using Donnie Leads to outsource some of your stuff. That's one idea. That's a very basic idea, right? That could also be you hiring someone for the first time, right? This could be having a salesperson out on the streets working for you while you're, maybe you're still at your 9 to 5. Okay. But we have to get these principles down. So I'm checking this book out. I love this book. Okay. It's from a long time ago. So this is salesmanship, and I'm trying to see if you guys can see that. See it? Salesmanship and business efficiencies. It's interesting when you pick up an old book, right? Because in an old book, just the way they did things are really interesting. Like if you look at just how they illustrate the book, right? Really cool, especially for more visual learners like I am. Probably some of you guys are like that as well. And it's interesting to go back, because this book was written, looks like the copyright began in 1912. And let's see when it was actually done. Hang on with me. I don't know if I can find that. I'll look it up for you guys, but it's an old book for sure. The binding's still kind of coming off, but as you kind of go through these things, you notice some major changes in 100 years, right?